Light is the very thing that sets our circadian rhythm. And as we know, hormones like testosterone run on this rhythm. Testosterone is highest in the morning when you wake up and you got that morning wood, and it's at its lowest before sleep. In fact, it's during sleep that we produce most of our daily testosterone. And basically, I've designed this video to help you optimize your light exposure to boost your testosterone levels and improve your sleep. In the first half of this video, I'll share with you zero-cost habits that anyone can follow. And in the second half, I'll share with you tools, things you can buy to optimize your light exposure even further. Alright, let's dive into the first and what I consider to be the most important habit, which is viewing morning sunlight. Now, you've probably heard about this one. Andrew Huberman talks a lot about it. But viewing morning sunlight is the very thing that sets your circadian rhythm. Basically, when you first step outside in the morning, your brain gets a signal and releases neurotransmitter, things like dopamine and serotonin. And on top of that, sunlight, especially the UVB rays, which we'll talk about later in the video, are the very thing that suppresses melatonin. And this is a good thing because melatonin is the sleep hormone. So the suppression in melatonin is the very thing that makes you feel awake. And viewing those UVB rays sets your internal clock. It's basically telling your body that in 14 hours, you'll need to start producing melatonin again, so you go to sleep. Now, it would be amazing if the only thing we needed was 10 minutes of morning sunlight in the morning. But that's not how it works. Your body responds to light all throughout the day. So you basically need to keep on feeding your body some light. And the more the better. Because your body is basically always trying to anticipate when it's gonna get less or more light. And if you only get that 10 minutes of morning sunlight, which is fantastic, your body is still gonna be confused as to when it's getting dark outside. That's why you also need to keep track of where the sun is. And this does not mean that you should always be outside. This only means that every time you get a break at school or at work, try to go outside, even if it's only for a minute. Personally, when I'm stuck in school for like 8 hours a day, I try to make it a point that every time I get a break, I go outside, even if it's just for a few minutes. And the third habit is viewing evening sunlight. Now, viewing evening sunlight is especially important because when the sun starts to set down, it shifts to red and orange wavelength, which are not only easier on your eyes, they also provide red light and near infrared light. And these two wavelengths can penetrate deeper into your skin and even into your cell, to your mitochondria, and it can promote recovery, reduce inflammation, and also increase testosterone. Because there's a simple thing you need to understand. The higher the frequency of the wavelength, so we're talking about UVB rays or blue light, the less deep it's gonna be able to reach inside your skin. And the longer the wavelength of the light, like red light and near infrared light, the deeper inside your skin and inside your cells the light is able to get. That's why UVB rays and near infrared light are two different things. So when you're getting that evening sunlight, there's much less UVB rays or almost zero UVB rays, and there's mostly orange light, red light, and near infrared light, which helps you produce melatonin and set your body for a good night of sleep. Now, you're probably tired about hearing me say view morning sunlight, evening sunlight. So the fourth habit isn't about viewing light. It's actually about exposing your skin to light. Now, you probably understand this one because you've heard of vitamin D before. Well, vitamin D is a very important vitamin when it comes to testosterone. So during the spring months and the summer months, basically the warmer months, expose yourself to sunlight. Now, you don't want to burn yourself, but a healthy exposure to sunlight to your skin will directly increase your vitamin D3 levels. And vitamin D3 levels are correlated with testosterone levels. So the higher your vitamin D3, the higher your testosterone. However, we're heading towards winter, and if you live in a colder country like I am, I'm really about to jump that shit. Yeah, oh my god. Oh my god, bro, that was so crazy. Bro, I hope I got that on camera. Alright, let's get back. You're probably wondering, well, how do I expose myself to sunlight? Well, you can't really do that. You can still view the sunlight, which is extremely important, but you need to understand that during the warmer months, your body stored vitamin D3. That is, if you expose yourself to enough sunlight. And it's storing that vitamin D3 in your liver and in your adipose tissue, which will help you support your vitamin D3 levels during the winter. But on top of that, yes, you can supplement with vitamin D3. And the last habit before I get to the tools is avoiding any sort of light at night. Basically, the last thing you want to do is when you wake up to go to the bathroom, which is okay and healthy, you absolutely don't want to turn on any bright light. Because bright light, which I would consider above 100 lux, and if you want to know what lux are, they're basically the quantity of light emitted from a light source. And when you step outside and the sun is out, you're basically exposed to like 50,000 lux. And when you're inside right now, I'm probably exposed to 1,000 lux because of all the light that I got around. So when you go to the bathroom during the night, you absolutely don't want to turn on these lights, because these lights are going to suppress melatonin, just how sunlight, morning sunlight, suppresses melatonin. And you absolutely don't want to suppress the sleep hormone during your sleep. Alright, now that we've covered the zero cost habits, I want to get into tools. Things you can basically buy to optimize your light exposure even further, and therefore optimize your testosterone levels. And the first one on this list is a sunrise simulation alarm clock. I personally own one, and whilst it's a great way to kind of ease into the day, because this alarm clock, when you set it at 6 a.m. let's say, maybe at 5:50 it's gonna start getting brighter and brighter, and it's gonna help you wake up slowly and wake up to a bright room. But what's really important is that after you wake up to this sunrise simulation, you need to go get outside and get the real deal. You need to go get that morning sunlight, because these clocks, whilst they may seem very bright, they're only a few hundred lux, whilst the sun, as you know, is tens of thousands of lux. Alright, the next thing you can buy is basically a seasonal light. Now, seasonal lights or SAD lights can cost a lot of money. I've seen one go for like $200, $300. So instead of buying a seasonal light, if you don't have the budget for that, or quite frankly, you don't think it's important, simply buying a ring light. I've got one right here. Is the one that's lighting me up? Well, this ring light provides about 1,000 lux and more. And exposing myself to this light during the day, so when I'm at my computer, I'm working, I'm not exposed to the sunlight, well, turning this on, even though I'm not recording a video, is gonna signal to my body that it's the day. But you need to understand that even though this ring light seems extremely powerful, even more powerful than the sun at times, getting outside, even though it's cloudy, is going to expose you to so much more lux. That's why nothing basically beats going outside. Now, the third tool you can use is getting some full spectrum lighting bulbs. Now, basically, these lighting bulbs have the full spectrum of light, basically mimicking the sun. Compared to normal lights or the average LED light, which is filled with blue light and has minimal orange, green, or red light. Now, in my home, I have some full spectrum lighting bulbs, but I've seen some full spectrum lighting bulbs that not only have the full spectrum, but that can also match the spectrum of the sun throughout the day. And what I mean by that is that at midday, it might have all of them. Some blue light, some green light, some red light. But as we head toward the night, the light bulbs will switch to more green, orange, and red wavelengths. And this is basically perfect to set yourself to a better night of sleep. They don't cost much money. Honestly, it's almost the same amount of money as a normal LED light, but you just gotta be aware of, is it full spectrum or is it only like a blue light LED? Now, the fourth tool you can buy, and I strongly recommend this one, I think it's one of the most important one on this list, is some blue light blocking glasses. I've got ones right here. And basically those blue light blocking glasses, well, they block blue light. And it's especially important to block blue light before sleep. I personally only use those 2 hours before I go to bed, because during the day, I want to see the blue light, the UVB rays. I want it to affect my physiology. But before sleep, I want to get into that mode of producing melatonin. And these are absolutely fantastic. Now, they don't need to be orange. These are proven blue light blocking glasses. I made a lot of research on blue light blocking glasses that actually block blue lights, and these ones kept popping up, so I really trust them. On top of that, there's a little test you can do to see if they actually work. I'll basically have a link to them in the description. I'm not affiliated with them. They're just the ones I bought basically. And now the last tool is to use a red light before sleep. Now, if it would be possible for you, the best thing would be to have these full spectrum light bulbs that can also switch to red lights everywhere in your house. So let's say at 7 p.m., 2 hours before you go to bed, your whole house turns red. That'd be perfect. But if you can't do that, do like me. Get a red light, a normal LED red light. When you set it to red, it's almost only the red wavelengths that are coming out of this. And especially if you make it dim, this red light will not interfere with melatonin production. That's why 30 minutes before sleep or so, I'm inside my room with my red light on and all of the other lights are turned on. And with this, I can still read, go about my night routine, and get ready for sleep. Now you're probably wondering, what's the difference between a red light like this one and what you've probably heard about red light therapy or near infrared light therapy, like these huge panels that can cost like $3,000. The red light panels are like extremely more powerful than this simple red light. As a matter of fact, the red light panels can even burn off your skin if you don't use them properly. Now, people have shown amazing results with the red light panels. I think there's even research being made on exposing your balls to these red light panels to increase your testosterone. But personally, I think it's a little bit of an overkill. Like, the sun gives you that free red light / near infrared light, and also these panels cost so much money. Personally, I'm not ready to invest in that. But at least get a red light bulb that you can use 30 minutes before sleep or even 2 hours before sleep if you feel like it. And finally, a bonus tip for you. I want you to go download a light meter app. Basically, an app that's gonna measure the amount of lux in the environment. You're basically gonna be able to take your phone, and through the front of your phone, through the face cam, it's gonna be able to measure the amount of lux. Now, it's not perfect, but honestly, I find it quite incredible. You can totally see that when you open your light meter app and you point it at a bright light, it gets maybe to 1,000 lux or more. But when you step outside, it gets to like 20,000 lux instantly. So this light meter app is a great way to see what you're exposing yourself to, and it's gonna help you make sure that you're getting the right kind of light, because at night you really want to avoid anything that's like above 10 lux. Personally, I try to aim for 1 to 3 lux maximum. So as you've learned in this video, light is an important part of health, and it can be a very crucial part to set your circadian rhythm and set your testosterone rhythm at the same time. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah!